This butternut squash soup, I started by putting some rosemary and thyme in some water and bringing it to a simmer so that the flavors could infuse into the water. I didn't want to add the herbs into the soup because for those that can't tolerate texture in the puree, it's not a good idea. So I added some oil to the pot and then I added my onion and sauteed it. I did get it a little dark for this video. So don't cook it quite as long as I did or turn down the heat a little bit. And then you add your onion or your garlic and your apple. And I had already roasted some butternut squash. And then I threw in my squash. I added my extra liquid and I brought it to a simmer for several minutes. You want this to just infuse. You can use either chicken stock or vegetable stock, or you can just use plain water. It's up to you. So bring this to a simmer and let it go for 15 to 20 minutes and then add your tofu. We added this tofu because it increases the amount of protein, which is really, really important for anyone that's on a pureed diet because meats can be very difficult to puree and get smooth enough. So tofu is a really great option and it doesn't taste like anything. So in this soup with the strong flavors of the squash and the onion, you can't taste it. So once your soup is simmering or boiling a little bit, you are going to want to start to puree it. You can add this to a blender. Please be careful not to put the lid on all the way because when you puree hot, it creates pressure and it can explode and cause injuries. So make sure you have it vented in order to prevent this pressure from building up. If you have a stick blender, you can blend it straight in the pot. This is going to take longer than it will with a blender, but the stick blender, you have less to move around and you're not transferring hot liquid back and forth. So it may be a good idea for you. It's gonna take a lot longer though, like I said. So just be prepared to be patient. You may also need to add some extra liquid if it's not thin enough. If you need to thicken your soup later, that is an option as well. But the squash will add a nice thickening property to it. I personally chose a butternut squash at the grocery store, peeled it, cut it, and removed the seeds, and then diced it and roasted it myself. I attempted to find diced butternut squash in the freezer section at a few different grocery stores because sometimes they do sell it, but I could not find it. If you can find it, it's a great thing to have on hand because it's useful for so many things, especially this soup. I also chose to make my own herb flavored water because I wanted the flavors of the herbs, but that's really up to you and what flavors you want to add to your soup. You can add herbs into the soup itself if you can tolerate the texture from the herbs, but once again, up to you. If you have any questions about this video or any of our other content, please get a hold of us at dysphasiaduo@gmail.com or visit us on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Happy cooking!